So I recently moved back to Chicago and decided to start training for my second half marathon. And I happen to live close to Drexel Boulevard and recently discovered a pretty cool piece of history about the city. I'll show you in a second. So I'm standing here at the south end of Drexel Ave. And this is a Chicago Historic Boulevard sign. So it shows a map of Chicago's boulevards, which it lists 25 of, along with monuments along the way. So I'd seen one of these a few years ago and didn't think too much of it. Discovered this one recently and decided, you know, why not try to run it all? And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to run all these boulevards before the end of the year. And today I'm starting out where the idea came to me at the south end of Drexel Ave. The way is the first monument, the what is it called here? Drexel Fountain. And today I'm going to run up Drexel Boulevard, then run across the Oakwood Boulevard, then over to King Drive, south to Washington Park, and see a couple monuments there, and that will make up my 11-mile run for the day. Let's get it. It's a Hyde Park car. Stop along the route is the Drexel Fountain. I don't really know anything about it. I'm gonna have to look into the history. And there's the historical sign that started off this journey. So this is the south end of Drexel Boulevard. And I have just begun the run. Unexpected landmark around on the way is the Operation Push National Headquarters, Dr. King's workshop. I really don't know anything about it. Check it out sometime. Not even a quarter of a mile in, let's get it. So my plan with these videos is to, I guess, not only highlight one of the cool aspects of Chicago, which I think gets overlooked, is the beautiful parks of this city, but also to, you know, assess quality of the parks and how good they are for running, and hopefully, you know, if necessary, bring attention to ways in which the city could be improved, and also highlight how awesome it already is. And so far, so good. So far, I'm pretty impressed with the Drexel Boulevard sidewalks. It looks like they're actually not all that old, and that's always nice. And by a guy, a motorized wheelchair, playing music. You might be able to see him back there. Good vibes. Also, shout out Kyle Kukla. Martin Luther King High School. That's cool. Made it 45th Street. So far, very impressed with the beauty and vibes of Drexel Boulevard. And as Leonard would say on Community, it's a buy. Love to see people grilling out in the city. Boulevard signs along the way. There's a lot of dog walkers along the way. Squirrels. Been hearing a lot of barking dogs, cicadas. Seen a lot of squirrels and butterflies. Some of the beautiful things about these Southside Park districts and park districts in general in Chicago is that you can forget you're in the nation's third biggest city. I think that's where we're at. And still only, you know, on a good day, a 15-minute drive, maybe even 10 minutes from the Loop, and perhaps one of the most beautiful cities in America, in my humble opinion. So I'm closing in on the end of Drexel Boulevard here. I think I'm about almost a mile and a half in. Long way to go. So I've made it Oakwood Boulevard, second leg of the multi-legged run. Over here we got a field. I'm gonna pause. And it looks like we got some soccer players out there. Oakwood Boulevard lets into Pershing Road and leads over this way across Lakeshore Drive. And I'm just running this way to get the full Boulevard experience. But more importantly, show the audience here one of my favorite views of the Chicago skyline. There it is, beautiful. Some metro tracks. I believe Lakeshore Drive is actually up this way. I'm not gonna go too far out of the way. And view's probably a little better over there, but I'm gonna keep on track, heading back towards King Drive. I just hit 2 miles and I'm at a red light here, and I guess to let you guys in on a little secret, I'm actually following the walk-run method, popularized by, oh, I'm gonna have to check back on his name, but doing it through a Garmin training program. And honestly don't know if I'd be able to run 11 miles straight up without walking a little bit. Takes a little bit easier on my knees. And it's kind of just a hack. Get the distance in without all the pain and struggle, but still all the benefits. So taking a little stroll for a little bit here before I kick it back into gear, make it to King Drive. And so far so good on Oakbrook Boulevard. That park where the track and field where the soccer players were extends across the street over to this park area. Got some poopers out. Got some wiffle ball, softball players over here. Beautiful old Baptist church here. And at this point I'm just stalling, so I need to start running again. So that coach I mentioned, who's kind of the champion of the walk-run method, is Jeff Galloway. Look him up. He's a legend. Oakwood Drive, it's pretty nice. It's got a lot of trees and shade. It's not quite the boulevard that Drexel Boulevard is, but it's not too bad. Got a wide sidewalk. Not too many cars out today. And it's a bye. So I have officially reached the end of Oakwood Drive, pretty short, and I have made it, where's the sign here, to Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. And looks like there's no central sidewalk like Drexel, so I will be going to the shaded side over there. And I always love to see in Chicago, they got a plane flying over the city with some sort of ad. It's honestly so washed out, I can't tell what it is. Miami, Inter Miami. The soccer team is in town today, playing the Chicago Fire. And it looks like that ad must be facing the stadium. So I think that's what they're trying to, that's the audience they're trying to catch. Past 38th Street. I think I still have quite a while to go on King Drive. It's a long road, but nice big park over here. And cool part about this part of the city, it's a lot of old buildings that are honestly kept up pretty well, some less than others. View, for example, here. I just love that old stone architecture. Here's an old building. Run down. I'm curious what its history is. Looks like it must have been quite immaculate in its day. Just realizing I didn't point to the fact that I started on the northwest edge of Hyde Park, ran between the edge of Kenwood and Bronzeville while I was on Drexel Boulevard, and it looks like I'm coming up on the northern edge of Bronzeville right now. Wow, that squirrel scared the shit out of me. On the next monument on the run, this is the Victory Monument. I think it has something to do with World War I. I'm gonna have to look into that. Plan to follow up with some more historical videos, but for now, looks cool. Saw that plaque on the road or on the sidewalk back there. Ran by another one. Seems like there's a few. Seems like it's related to the monument. I'm not sure of the details. There's a few more there. Langston Hughes, yet another plaque. And this part of the road is split with some trees in the middle. Got wider, took on a different structure. And, you know, so far so good for running conditions. Definitely a bit more traffic crossing through, but good shade. And apparently a lot of history. Gotta get another plaque. So I'm now in the Douglas neighborhood. Damn, another plaque. And on the western edge of the Lake Meadows community. Number of high-rise apartment buildings. And looks like Douglas overlaps with Bronzeville. A lot of overlapping neighborhoods, but Douglas takes up a good portion of the near south side, it appears. And I'm just taking a little walk break. Another plaque. Seems like it's maybe this whole stretch of road from the monument to the northern part of King Drive. And I'll try to run to the end before I take another walk break or a video. Let's get it. So I finally reached the northern point of Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, but ends right into the massive McCormick Place complex here. And I'm on, over here is the South Commons neighborhood. Over here is the Prairie View neighborhood, although massive empty plots over here. Sadly, hopefully we see some nice development there in the future. And another monument here actually wasn't on the map. Again, not sure what it was. Hopefully make another video covering what it is. And now I have the longest stretch of the run, repeating some of the land I've already covered here on King Drive, but we got about a 3-mile stretch to Washington Park. Sure enough, the plaques did continue all the way to the north of King Drive. And on the way over here, I passed the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, chapter 134. Interesting building, never heard of that community. And in the adjacent fields, there was some sort of music festival. A lot of those been going on in Chicago lately. John H. Johnson, very similar to my name. I'm a Luke H. Johnson. All right, I am procrastinating on running more at this point. My knees are starting to hurt. Wishing I had a Texas catheter strapped onto me as I have to go pee. Feeling a little bit parched. Regretting wearing a heavy black cotton t-shirt. Shout out Tweedle Farms, Last Prisoner Project. But I will persevere. Let's get it. It's that music festival over there. And it's a beautiful day in Chicago. No public restrooms in sight. Although I might have to go check out this little festival, see if they got any portable johns. I will report back shortly. Bathrooms have been located. Man, that was clutch. It's not so often you find a convenient place to take a piss on a long run. A bit of a historical context I just noticed. Douglas Plaza, site of the Civil War Camp Douglas. Theodore Lawless, another plaque. Taking a little walk break at 5.5 miles, halfway through. Feeling all right, knees are starting to feel a little bit. Definitely need some water, but I'll be good. Over here to my left, this little commercial area. And there's a Culver's, man, I am tempted to stuck out on this run for some Culvers. Have some cheese curds and custard. I would certainly not be able to finish after that though. Let's get it. So again, covering ground, going south that I already covered going north. Yeah, that guy's playing really loud music on his glorified tricycle. So I'm back where I started on King Drive earlier. There is Oakwood Boulevard, past Pershing back there. And so, oh, some fried chicken that smells beautiful. We have some new ground to cover here. We saw a second ago, pretty cool mural. There's another one over on that side of the street. Never been in this part of the city. Seems all right. Let's get it. Man, that is a goated tennis court. Cool looking old buildings. More and more of them. Always makes you a little sad when you see these old buildings run down. Currently at 6.7 miles. Quite a ways to go. TK Lawless. A green line stop over here on 43rd Street. I'm at 46th Street. I don't know if you can see that says Chicago Blues. That one over there says Chicago Blues District. Pretty cool historical signs. Oh, that's a sweet Corvette. A lot going on here. Cultural center, a lot of cool statues, a lot of action. Cool park area here. Shout out Brandon Johnson. Pretty cool. Damn. Now, I believe I mistakenly said I've never been in this part of the city earlier. That wasn't completely true. I have driven up and down King Drive before, particularly to go to Culver's in the past. But it's pretty interesting to run through here. A lot of things I've never really seen close up and personal on a run pace, on foot rather. And interesting mix of old and new, some run down things, some empty plots. See a lot of those on the south side. Chicago has just dipped below the population level that it was at in the 1920s, sadly. More empty land over there. Some more right there. But, you know, still the best city in my opinion. Some older folks playing cards on the street back there. Quite interesting. And I've now reached 51st Street where I began. If I were to run that way, I'd just be back where I started. Here's the northwest corner of Washington Park. And it looks like there's another festival going on. Last week there was one going on here actually, on this little road. And yeah, a lot of things going on in the city. So I am now entering Washington Park on the final leg of the journey. It smells good. It smells like barbecue and marijuana. I like it. You know,
lap 9, 10-12.
Cannabis sativa, more properly so these days. But people are out here enjoying themselves in the Park District. Love to see it. And we got a freshly paved road up here going through Washington Park. Sidewalks aren't looking too hot, but there are plenty of them, plenty of paths. I'm actually on a path that I've never ran on, and I've ran through here plenty of times in my day. There's that freshly paved road, and pretty rough running, biking path. But nonetheless, better than nothing. You can hear the cicadas loud and clear run through here. Coming up on Garfield Boulevard up here and 55th. And green line stop over there. Nice shaded running path. Better road. But we run on and we are at 8.3. And here we are at Garfield Boulevard. Crossing now eastward further into Washington Park. Plenty of field space, baseball fields over here. The geese love it. One of my favorite spots to view the sunset in Hyde Park. It's from the other side over there. Looking this way. I'm sure it'll look beautiful tonight. If you're ever getting off of I-90, coming to the University of Chicago, here in Garfield, I recommend be careful on this drag, as there's a speed camera, and it will really get you. There's that speed camera. It's another community gathering over here. Love to see it. And further into Garfield Park we go. Wait, not Garfield Park. Oh my God. It's a Tesla Cybertruck blackout. Never seen one of them before. Anyway, we are going further into the park here. Cut that one from Washington Park, not Garfield Park. Gotta correct myself. Now, as I said, you know, the paths are not super well kept. These ones are actually better than the ones back there. I can imagine in the heyday of this park, this was kind of more of a Parisian promenade. You know, a little bit overgrown, a little bit weedy now. But look at that beautiful walkway. Reminds me of Hyde Park, London. I'm taking a little walk break here at an 8.75. Let's get after it. Our community gathering over here. And over here to the east, we got some ponds that I'm gonna run towards and loop around to get to the Fountain of Time monument, which I'm coming up on. And yeah, we'll take a peek at this waterway here for a sec. You know, it looks a little bit abandoned. Seems like there should be some shade here. I don't know if people fish here ever. Looks quite swampy. Honestly, a much bigger pond here than I knew about. Over in the distance, we see U Chicago Medicine and the beginning of the new cancer center they're building. Very cool. Swamp continues. Pond continues this way. Coming around on the south end of Washington Park here. And south of here is the Woodlawn community, I believe. That's still Woodlawn over there. Or yeah. And yeah, a lot of people like to gather in this part of the park, play music, hang out with their family. Love to see it. And people do fish here apparently. Fishing line, disposal bin. You know, I don't see anybody fishing today. There's that bridge over there. You know, I don't even fish myself, got a fishing hat on. And as you can see, I'm sweating my ass off. But let's get it. Coming up on the back side of the Fountain of Time here. There's no direct trail. Some cut through. Far west end of the Midway Plaisance. I think that's how you pronounce it. See the University of Chicago sign there. Southwest entrance of the campus. U Chicago Medicine. And the beautiful, yet strangely dystopic Fountain of Time. Again, I don't know the history of this one. It's quite an interesting fountain, although it is not active. I don't know. I guess there's a story here. If anybody wants to pause and read. I am going to continue on with the final mile and a half of the run. Let's get it. Beautiful Logan Center for the Arts. helicopter just took off from the top of the hospital. Maybe it's landing, I actually can't tell. No, it's taking off. Look at that. Never seen that actually. Actually, maybe I have, I don't know. Let's go. Used to go to work right over here. Damn, those cicadas. You know, unfortunate amount of litter. Hate to see that. You know, surprisingly, I didn't really see much litter at all on the other boulevards. So, you know, for, you know, the most gentrified areas of the south side, I'd park here on the widest boulevard of the historical park district. You know, kind of an unpleasant amount of litter seen through here. Let's do better than that. It sucks. And there's recycling bins, so what the fuck, people? Take care of your trash. It's not cool. So I'm running eastward now on the Midway Plaisance, and there is the old part of the Chicago Medicine hospitals, and here I am on Ellis now, and run towards the next monument right through there. So after a quick little, you know, not even a block north there, I'm now running eastward again on 59th Street next to the beautiful Harper Memorial Library. One of my favorite places to study on campus. It's known for having a very hot Harry Potter-esque feel. And here's the next monument here. Jog over there. So this is the Linné Monument, and I've walked by this one a few hundred times probably, so I do know a bit about it. It was relocated from Lincoln Park, it says on the bottom there, in 1976. And Linné is famous for the system of naming plants and I believe all animals and species. He was a botanist, and he came up with the, I believe it's a Latin system for naming the nature of the world. Pretty cool, famous guy. I believe he's French. I don't know, look into him if you're curious. Linné, L-I-N-N-E. Oh, I believe I just trespassed up here, but this is one of my favorite.
Lap 11, 12.
That's 10 miles. My favorite viewing spots at the ice rink on the Midway Plaisance. Beautiful place to view the sunset in the winter. It's a beautiful place to watch people who are bad at ice skating. And yeah, I probably wasn't supposed to come up here, but I gotta continue on to the east side and for the final mile here. Rockefeller Chapel. There's Harper Memorial Library again. And we have a beautiful sunset tonight. A little too bright right now to enjoy it so far. They are renovating the outside of the Rockefeller Memorial Chapel this year. Things have been under renovation for at least a few months now. I noticed it back in May when I was here for alumni weekend. Damn, I'm sweating my balls off. But yeah, beautiful building. Hopefully the scaffolding is not on it for too long, as it looks pretty ugly right now. Here is Ida Noyes Hall, home of the Max Plevsky Cinema and the University of Chicago pub. Very quiet on campus this Labor Day weekend. The University of Chicago Laboratory Schools, famous International House, otherwise known as I House. Looking east at the west at the lab schools. Their track and field, I House, and the final monument is right over there. I just hit 10.5 miles, running back south, crossing the Midway now. Well, now I'm cutting east to avoid the cars. coming up on the southeastern entrance of campus. The front of iHouse is to my left here. I'm at 10.56 miles, so I'm gonna end it on the monument here. Got about a half mile to go, and you know, I'm actually pretty fucking surprised, just to use my French, that I made it through this run. Ran 9 miles 2 weeks ago. Other than that, I haven't run farther than 5 miles in a single run this year. So, probably really gonna be feeling it tomorrow. But this is fun. And here's that last monument. Quite a beauty. We're on the far east side of the Midway Plaisance. There is a seminary school here. And look at that beautiful sunset begin to go on the far west end here. iHouse and the big horsey. My phone died right after that last video, right before I think I had a half mile to go about, but we did it. My Bass Pro hat is soaked in sweat. I don't know if you can see it. Absolutely soaked. Can't believe I did it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you stuck around, honestly did not expect this video to be as long as it was, although it was 11 miles and pretty long stretch on the Chicago Boulevard adventure, and more to come. Peace. Thanks for sticking along. Hope you enjoyed.